majority of everybody here today. And for those who aren't here, we're going to be recording this. And if you want to hear me say all this again, you can watch it again. I know it's going to be fascinating. But let me just pray and we'll get things started. Dear Father, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for the food that you've given to us. Thank you for all these people who have committed a big chunk of time this summer to give back to you, in service to you, to give to kids who are coming to our camp. And I'm so grateful for them. I pray that this training goes well. You'll help me to speak clearly, help anybody who's presenting to speak clearly. And I pray that we'll have understanding about how we're going to run things and give people creativity, give people great ideas on things that they can do to make this the amazing camp that it's always been. I pray that you would be at work, Lord, in our lives, in our hearts, draw us closer to you so that we can draw others closer to you. We thank you for this day. In Jesus' name, amen. So thank you again for being here. I'm Kelly Laird. All of y'all know that. I don't know why he made me stand up in church today. Seriously? Anyway, I'm Kelly. That's Gary back there if you don't know him. And this is Kristen Smalley. So in case you need to put a face with the names. We're going to go right through this. I have a very short presentation, and then we're going to split off. Senior camp will stay here, and junior camp will go to the conference room. So, I think most of you are here because you've had a good experience at some sort of camp, or maybe your family has been involved in a camp. I mean, how many people have been to VBS as a camper themselves? I have. When I was a little girl. Yeah, most of us have. And if you haven't, you know that we have a great camp here at North Park. And so I think a lot of us, as young people, were so affected positively by camp that we just want to be part of this. We want to help out and give that experience to someone else. So thanks for doing that, and thanks for being here. We get to be those cool leaders that we all looked up to. We get to be that now, so, well, maybe not all of us are cool, but some of you are cool, so that's awesome. So we have a couple goals for the camp, so I'll just get right into it. Number one, to draw kids closer to God and to His Word through the Bible and through all the fun things we do at camp, whether that's songs or getting to know them through relationships, spending time with them. That's our number one goal, to draw kids closer, to get them to know God. 2, teach them how to be everyday heroes. This is a little different this year. Based on our curriculum, Heroes Adventure, we want to teach them to do what's right, to deal with wrongs, to be honest, and to care about others. And we're going to be nailing those each day, different goals each day. We really want to be focusing on those things. We'll tell you more about that later. Number 3, our third goal is to reach out to the campers' families by building relationships, which will offer them opportunities to get to know our God and be active at our church. Our goal is not necessarily to get them to come to our church, but we want them to get involved in getting to know God. And that may draw them to our church or to a church so that they're in the Word and getting to know God better. So, how are we going to do this? Well, you are a key part. As a counselor, as an aide, as a leader of some kind, the kids are going to be looking to you. And so, how you conduct yourself, the words that you say throughout the week, the advice that you give them, everything you do, they're going to be looking at you. And so I'm very excited about our team. So many of you have stepped up into this role, and I know you, and I know the kind of person that you are. And I'm very excited to see our kids be around people like you. So I can't wait. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I would just encourage you to step into that role. Be that role model. Be that person that you would want to look up to be that person for somebody else. Okay, so here are the expectations, and this is for junior camp and for senior camp. In a minute, you're going to get a folder full of information. It's packed full of information, and the number one sheet that everybody wants to know is, where am I being placed? Who am I going to work with? What are my campers' names? And when you get that, that's the number one thing you should do for your campers. Take that list and pray for them every day. Yeah, some of them you don't know. Most of them you don't know, but some of them you might. And even if you don't, God may lay something on your heart about that person, and you may be praying in a way that you never expected. So lift them up even now. Get to know them. Take the time. You're going to be with them all day for a long time. You know, how many hours is it? 6 hours a day? A long time, every day. That's a really good opportunity to get to know them, to get to know what kind of things they like to do, who they are, where they live, who they hang out with. Get to know them and let them get to know you. I put junior campers like they are your best friend. You know, our best friends are the ones we want to hang out with, we want to be with. And so I would just encourage you to treat them that way. Let them know that you love them as God would want you to love them. At all times, interact with them in ways that are good for them. And so that means, you know, how you treat them and how you interact with them. You're focused on them the whole time. Because a lot of times we come to this camp, or any camp, and we're so excited because our friends are going to be there, and we're going to get to hang out with our friends. And that's awesome. And that's fun. And that's all part of camp. But our main focus should be the campers. And so when you're interacting, if somebody else is coming over to say hello or whatever, make sure if a camper is there that you're focused on them first. Stay with your own squad at all times. This is really hard, especially like at lunchtime when all the squads are together and you just want to mingle and interact. Your job, your priority should be with your squad first. That's what we're encouraging you to do. All right, here's the one nobody wants to hear about. Dress appropriately. So this is pretty much how we've done it for years. No two-piece swimsuits, no super short shorts, and no super low-necked shirts. I know, guys, that doesn't really apply to you at all, but we have to put it out there. And I would encourage you, like especially on water day, even throw on a pair of shorts or a t-shirt as well. Keep it appropriate. Be real. Be willing to admit mistakes that you don't know and that you don't know everything. You're going to have some tough questions in squad time, or what we're calling Station 5 this year. These kids come to this camp because they do want to know more about God, and they do want to know more about the Bible, and many of them don't. They don't do that on a regular basis. And they're going to have some tough questions for you. And what I've found as a teacher is if you don't know, say that. I don't know, but I'll go find out. You know, and bring those hard questions to Gary, because he's the Bible teacher. Or bring them to me. I'll try to find out. Or if you're really stuck, take them to Dan and Henley. You know, email us, find out the answers to those questions. But be willing to be real with them and just say, I don't know, but I'll find out. And then follow up on it, make sure you do find out. And then lastly, use your phone wisely. This is something we started a couple years ago. Yeah, you can have your phone on you because I know there's emergencies that come up. But we really want to avoid texting throughout the week and taking phone calls throughout the week. Okay, so we just don't want to see you on it. But if there's a really cute situation and you want to take a picture, go for it. Take a picture of your campers and capture that. And then if you think it's really good, send it on to Gabe Hopkins because he's going to be putting together our slideshow. And we're going to need lots of great pictures. So forward those along to Gabe. Regarding social media, we do have to handle that. Not everyone has given us permission to share pictures of their kids. And so we can't just throw it up on your Twitter page or your Facebook page or wherever you are. We can't just put it up there. However, if you find that you have this great picture and you really want to share it, go to the parent and say, hey, look at this picture that I just captured of your daughter or son. Would it be okay if I put on my page? And if they give you permission, that's okay. But if not, we want to avoid that because we want to keep our campers safe. And not all parents give that sort of permission. All right. More. Okay. Show respect. That's to each other, to us, to the rules. Just demonstrate the maturity to follow the rules. Know the plans, and they're coming soon. As soon as you get that binder or that folder, you'll be able to figure out what we're talking about and know the lingo. But especially for Station 5, which we've called squad time in the past, be prepared. Everybody's going to go to Bible time throughout the day, and then squad time sort of unpacks what you were taught in Bible time with discussion questions and getting to know God's Word a little bit more, working on the Bible verse. But that's the time you really need to prepare for the most, and we're going to give you some information to do that. And I think I've already said this pretty much, encouraging you to be the good leader that we've seen in the past, and participate. Especially by Thursday when everybody's sort of getting tired of the songs and we're tired. Period. Get up, be that leader, and participate. This is our verse for the year, for the week. From Romans 8:37, and I think we went with, that might be an IB, really not sure. But that's the one that we're going to focus on throughout the week. Sort of the superhero theme goes with that. And I think that's day number 1. That'll be the memory verse as well. I just wanted you to see it. And we'll be able to write these down later, but these are some just quickie details. There's going to be a photo booth in the lobby, and so I want to make sure that you take your squad there sometime throughout the week and get a squad picture. And that needs to be done by the end of the day, Thursday. I'll give you a chance to write that down in just a minute. And then Mrs. Brunner has also, she's going to set up stations where the kids can sort of try out their hero skills, like a test of strength or like laser vision. I don't know how she's doing this exactly. It's just like silly little props. But the kids might like it, so try to take them to those stations as well. All she asks is that you're gentle with her props, and we don't actually destroy them, showing off our super strength. All right, moving on. These are our personalities for the week. Chester Dingman and Dr. Von Schnuzel. Yes. So this is Taylor, obviously, and he's our hero for the week. He doesn't know it. He wants to be a hero, but he doesn't know that he already is a hero. And we're going to be finding that out throughout the week. I don't know if he's asked any of you to help out with what we're doing, but he's having a skit every day, and he will probably be asking some of you to get involved in that skit. And then Brooke is the bad guy. He's Dr. Von Schnuzel, and he's trying to get the hero off course. So, yes. Actually, Taylor wrote all the skits, and they're really funny. So, give him some encouragement once we get into this. This is just a picture from last year. I was kind of overwhelmed by that. Look at the size of our camp. And it's not that much smaller. It's a little smaller this year, but we bring in a lot of people. So let's keep it going. And then just a thank you from me. I really appreciate you guys doing this. So, yeah, thanks. Okay, so that's my spiel. Okay, so at this point, what we're going to do is pass out the senior camp folders, and anyone junior camp can go with Kristen.
Let's get started. We have a lot of stuff to go through. This pack is pretty thick, and we actually do need to go through. Even if you're a veteran camp person, a lot of this is kind of new because of the curriculum and stuff that we're using. Personally, I'm a fan of the, I think it's funny that squad time is now station number 5. I find that, I don't know, it sounds like something like a science fiction movie. Station 5. DEFCON. Something like that. All right. I want to save some of this for when we have our meetings on the week of VBS in terms of morning devotions. But I did want to share something. Kelly kind of already shared some of this as well, but thinking through some things. When I interviewed you guys, I was very impressed by many things, and one of them was, how many of you, one of the questions I asked you was, why do you want to do this? And almost every single one of you, part of your response has something to do with the fact that when you were little, you had a camp counselor, you know, whether it was here or some other VBS, and you know, that person was just like the rock star to you for the week. And you thought they were so cool, and they gave you piggyback rides and all that stuff that you do. And so I think it's neat that you guys were so impacted by that, that now you're understanding that it's your opportunity to kind of give that back. And I think that's awesome. I think that's, you know, that's scriptural. You know, it's kind of passing on. I mean, they're not literally your kids, but you know, in a sense, you're passing from one generation to another. Because whether you think of it or not, you know, you guys are old enough that these kids you'll be working with in camp, in a sense, are a different generation than you. I don't know if that ever crossed your mind, but you're not old like me yet. But it is important to understand that is exactly how the gospel gets transferred, is from generation to generation. So, you know, I'm really excited to work with you all. I was very impressed in doing the interviews. It was really kind of a blessing to me to get excited about what you guys are capable of. And I also shared with you the fact that whether you're an aide or a counselor, frankly, you know, one of the other questions I asked you was about giving me your opinion of the differentiation between a counselor and an aide. And as I told you before, it's kind of like counselors are kind of team captains and aides are part of the team, but you all are part of the team. And part of my job is to equip you guys to be the best leaders and team members that you can be. And so that, you know, never hesitate to ask me a question about anything in the days leading up to the week, as well as obviously the week of. But you guys are leaders, and that's an awesome thing for young people to be doing that. I appreciate what you guys are doing. Now, with that, I do want to share something with you. Not only are you leaders, but for the week, you guys are teachers. You know, whether you know it or not, you're also going to be teachers. And Scripture's pretty clear about teachers. James 3:1 says this: "Not many of you should become teachers, my fellow believers, because you know that we who teach will be judged more strictly." And so in James, he gives us a warning label for the role of teacher. It also comes, by the way, with high honor and a great responsibility, and it's just a great experience, and I know that you guys will do awesome with that. But I do think it's important. So why do you think James, just real quick, this is the interactive part, just real quick before we get into like the real nuts and bolts stuff, why do you think teachers will be judged more strictly? God hates teachers. No, wrong answer. Why? Yeah, Anna.
It's their job to tell the truth, and if they screw up, they've impacted many, many more people.
Okay, yeah, so they're kind of deputized, if you will, to share the gospel. Yeah.
They're already supposed to have knowledge of the subject.
Okay, true. That's true. Now, does that mean we get it right every time? No, of course not. Okay, so it's not like God's looking down from above going, "Oh, Anton misspoke on that one. Scratch him off the list." No, it doesn't work that way. Thankfully, God's grace and mercy and His Spirit works through us, in spite of us sometimes. Okay, so it is important, though, to understand that you have a huge responsibility this week, and Kelly kind of mentioned this stuff too. You know, even some of the silliest little mundane routine things that you do, you know, those little eyes are watching you, and they want to be like you. Just in the same way as many of you talked about how, you know, you really admired your counselors when you were younger. And so you do want to keep that aware, and I think that's really at the core of what James is getting at here. Is not to scare people away from teaching, but to appreciate the responsibility that you have, and I'm sure you guys understand that. Now, on the flip side is another verse that actually comes from Isaiah. Random question, but it adds a point. How many of you have a weird thing about feet? Like you think they're kind of gross, and you like, anybody? I know people like that. It's just kind of grossed out by feet. It's just kind of, you're not going to be a podiatrist when you're older. That's just not going to be your career path. I got that. Weird verse in Isaiah, but you've heard it before, but maybe you never thought it. Isaiah 52, verse 7 says, "How beautiful on the mountains are the feet of those who bring good news, who proclaim peace, who bring good tidings, who proclaim salvation, who say to Zion, your God reigns." says feet are beautiful. Okay? Well, I don't know that that's really mean literally, but it does mean this. Feet, more metaphorically, talking about moving and carrying and going to places. You know, think more transportation than, you know, those 10 little toes that may or may not freak you out. But God says that those people are beautiful, that bring the good news to those who don't know it. And to recognize that God is a real God. It's not just some pretend God that we trot out during VBS week, but we believe and know that God is real and what His Word tells us is real. And when we live by those standards, you know, we get to live life to the fullest. And so I encourage you, there's two sides to being a teacher. There is a responsibility side, and we want to be careful about everything that we say and do. But on the other side, God has great esteem for those who are teachers and who carry the good news of the gospel. And that's what you guys are going to do for this week. That's an awesome thing. Just kind of, as we go through all of this detailed stuff, just remember that. You know, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, how am I going to keep track of all this? It's, you know, for some of you, it's going to be overwhelming. For some others of you who've done it for a while, you're going to be like maybe a little complacent. But hopefully this puts it in perspective. God values what you're doing for this week, even starting today. You know, with even as Kelly said before, just praying for the names of people that you don't know yet, but God certainly does. And so I just encourage you with that you guys are going to be the beautiful feet, if you will. Okay, sorry if that grosses you out a little bit. Okay, to declare to these young people that our God reigns. That's awesome. That's a great thing. And I hope that you guys will. I'm certain that you guys will aspire to that. So I just want to kind of share that. It's important to understand that as you go into it, because there's all sorts of stuff you do during camp week, and you get exhausted, and kids get annoying, but remember you're delivering the good news. And that's an awesome thing. So, you know, as the week goes on, I will share some other things to keep you guys going. That's an important thing, though, and thank you again. All right, see, on the first page, we're going to actually walk through your lovely little binder here. And I promise we will definitely get out on time, because I needed that. Anyway, first page, as you see there, is all about squads, as well as counselors and aides, and who's assigned to who, and so forth. And you know, just repeating what's already been said, but you know, even starting today, you know, just pray through the names of the people in your group. Pray for the people that you're working alongside. This is a great opportunity to do so. And by the way, I think this goes without saying, but it wouldn't be a bad idea for you, if you don't already, have phone numbers and emails for each other if you're working with a counselor and aide, because maybe you can actually even start thinking of things that you want to do, just kind of getting to know each other in your group, even as squad counselors and aides. You might already start bouncing ideas off each other, because there will be times during the week where that can happen. Yes?
What do the little asterisks mean by the mean?
I have no idea. I was going to ask you that too.
I forgot to take them out. They were my own notes of people that I was asked to put together. So, yeah, forgot to take those out.
It's not like a warning label.
Okay, I knew it was like an allergy thing or something.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that.
No, it's kind of like, these are the worst kids you will have to deal with, so watch out for them.
Yep, that's why they're daddies. No, because she can handle it. She's a veteran. All right, let's look at day one. Each day, format-wise, kind of looks the same, but we do need to kind of walk through some things. This is where you might want to start jotting notes and putting stuff all over your paper. These are yours to keep and refer to, so any notes you need to take. And by the way, Abby, raising your hand, and please interrupt as we go through, because that'll be easier if you know what happens when people say save your questions to the end, you get to the end and you're like, oh shoot, I forgot what I was going to ask. So, you know, better to walk through it kind of awkwardly and ask questions as we go along than save them for the end. As you can see on each day, the very top gives you an idea of what the theme is for the day. You'll notice on day one, on Monday, the theme is Camp T-Shirt Day. Now, before we go any further with that, did you want to add anything about the Thursday, listen to me, when the counselor or the kids come Sunday evening?
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
Sorry. That's Sunday night. So I think we mentioned this in some of the emails that we have sent out, but if you didn't remember, you're going to get to meet your campers on Sunday. That would be the 21st from 6:30 until 7:15. So we made it less than an hour. We're trying to make it short and sweet. Meet them, give them their t-shirts, eat some ice cream, and go home. It's in the blue room.
Yeah, in the blue room, if you didn't hear that. So that's how they magically have their camp t-shirts on the first day. We don't mail them out or anything, that would be expensive. Okay. 8:25 is when our counselor and aid meeting for you all will start. Okay, please, please, please be on time. You know, we can't not be on time because it just has to happen. So be here by 8:25. The doors will be locked at 8:30, as they were last year. Yes, Mrs. Laird?
No, I was just saying to tell them where you're having the meeting.
Oh, okay, I thought you had a question. Room 306, that's the youth group room, is where we'll meet each morning. And as I said, I do want to share more of a devotional thought as well as go over any details that are specific to the day of camp. And we'll see there are a lot of those when we get to Water Day, for sure. All right, as you can see there, after we're done, we'll dismiss immediately upstairs to the sanctuary to meet your campers in the pews. It is imperative that, I understand people might need to have to slip by to get to the bathroom or get a quick drink of water or whatever, but you do want to pretty much get from point A to point B as soon as you can, because those little guys start rolling in and they never stop. So you need to get up there and be with your guys, and especially the first day, it's so important, because some of them don't actually show up for the Sunday night thing. We hope that they do, but in a lot of cases, that's going to be your first chance to connect with these people and their parents. So don't minimize the fact that you guys are going to be connecting with the parents as well. And that's sometimes a very helpful opportunity as well. So, you know, any sort of little details they might want to tell you about their child. Power time is essentially the opening time as we've had in years past. That'll, of course, be in the sanctuary following, I think it has 9 o'clock as our start time. And then as you can see, we go through starting at 9:30 with the first rotations of stations 2, 3, and 4, which you can see there, you can start kind of pairing up. You might want to take a look or highlight your squad letter or circle it so you can match your squad letter with where you go in the sequence of things. So you have craft, snack, Bible. Then there's a second rotation where obviously you move to your next thing that's assigned to you, and you can see that the room assignments for those things are listed there as well. Just a recommendation, after second rotation, after you go through your second rotation, is a good opportunity for the pit stop, if you will. You might want to check to make sure that kids don't have to go to the bathroom, because you know how it is, you'll get to like squad time, and one kid will say they have to go to the bathroom, and suddenly it's an epidemic, and everybody has to go to the bathroom until he derails your time. Okay, so proactively, after second rotation might be a good opportunity to swing by.
And when you're going to those rotations, please jump in and help as needed, because like snack this year is a little different. The kids are actually making their snack when they go there. So the leaders of those rotations will need your help.
There'll be sharp knives, it'll be great. No, trust me, nothing but blunt instruments. All right, well, that could be bad too. Anyway, yeah. All right, third rotation, once again, kind of similar, obviously, to first and second. That kind of gets us to Station 5, which would be at 10:45, roughly 10:45 each morning. All right, Station 5. If you would, in your packet, flip to page 43. For each day that we have Station 5 or squad time, we have a sheet that kind of lays out all the things that we're going to do during that time. Highly suggest that you guys kind of read through this in this coming week to kind of familiarize yourself with each day.
Hold it up so they can see.
Yeah. Each day kind of looks like this. Has this lovely little superhero guy, page 40. Page numbers are down here. And so each day, there's a series of things that you're going to do in camp. We're going to talk about one of these. We're actually going to do one here in just a second. But one of the first things, if you look, there's kind of a grid sort of thing that kind of breaks down some of the things for the day, what the Bible story is, what the Bible verse for the day is. And on the first day, it's actually the camp theme. And then you have other sort of kind of summaries of sort of the main concept that you want your campers to grasp each day. Below that, you'll see there's kind of 3 things that you'll do each time in your squad time. One of the nice things about this, you're going to find that you run out of time in squad time. Like, I don't know if those of you who've done it in years past, you know, having dead time with little kids is never a good thing. So these are planned out in such a way you're going to have, you may have to cut things short, but that they're going to be active from the start, the time you get together with your guys until the end. And so there's a certain sequence you have to kind of go in to make sure that you hit the most important things, and then if you still have time left over, there's some extra things you can do. First and foremost will be the Bible verse. There's a Bible verse, Bible memory verse each day that you want to quiz them on. And do we start this on the first day with them? So you'll quiz them, and if they get it, if they can do it successfully, you're going to give them a coin. Are they wooden nickels still?
Go ahead.
Can I make a quick?
Yeah, go.
So my mom and I are doing
Oh, yeah.
like camp store token thing this year, and what we're doing, we have pouches for each camper that will have their name on them. And then those will go in like a big Ziploc bag or a cinch bag. I'll put them in something that you'll carry around with you, just so they don't get lost, and because sometimes that gets, campers lose them. And then they'll have tokens, which we're still working out what those are. But so yeah, if they can say the memory verse, they'll get a token. So like Monday, they can get 1 token. Tuesday, they can come back, and if they can say Monday's verse and Tuesday's verse, they can get 2. So like in total, they can get up to like 15 tokens. And then at lunchtime, my mom will be at the camp store thing. And
Good, thank you. That's great information. And then one thing in addition, as you get to know your campers over the course of the week, if you have a kid who's really trying to get it and they're just not getting it, you know, they're welling up with tears in their eyes because they just can't get it, it's okay to give them a little bit of grace and be like, okay, well, you know, you don't want, you imagine a kid going through the whole week and just having a 0. That would just be, just crush them. Just, all right. So, you know, this is a grace environment. You know, it's, you know, we're not giving away free cars here, so it's okay. You know, if they're really trying, I mean, if they're just totally blowing you off, I mean, that's an understandable thing. But all right. So Bible memory verse, and then we're going to do the Hero Field Guide in just a minute. Each day they're going to have this thing, kind of think like a passport kind of thing.
Show them yours.
Okay? Yeah, I'll show you mine. Mrs. Laird made mine for me. But when it's all done, it's all fancy like this. Yeah. And it has, each day they add things to it. So by the end of the week, they have all this stuff put together in something that they take home. And it includes the Bible memory verse for each day as well, sort of the key concept. This will be something they take with them at the end of the week. And this is one thing that's going to be important. You're going to have to figure out a way to kind of keep these. You're not going to give them to them you're going to give them to them each day, but you're going to hold on to them until the end of the week. So you'll have to figure out some system to put these in a safe location and they're not going to get destroyed.
do they take them home at the end of the week?
They will take them home at the end of the week, yeah. But in the days leading up to Friday, you want to hold on to them in your group somehow so that, yeah, because you know how it's going to be. If these went home on the first day, you'd never see them again. They may not make it out of the parking lot. So that's the 2 key things are Bible memorization, and you'll have things you need to do with this Hero Field Guide. And then each day, there's actually a final activity. If you find that you have time, there's actually like a little game activity that you play with the kids. You will need, for those, kind of look ahead. You may need to bring some of your own stuff. We're not necessarily going to have, like the first day, it has something to do with a towel and a football kind of thing. So it doesn't matter what size football, or it could even be a different type of ball, but just look ahead and see if there might be some things that you need to bring from home to add to the game.
And that, like, after you get done with the Bible verse and then the field guide, if you have time to do the hero skill building activity, which is at the bottom of the page, and you still have time, that's when you want to go to the lobby and get your squad picture done, or go to the stations and visit them and try to test out the different hero skills.
Okay. Now we're gonna take a few minutes. You are actually gonna put together your own hero guide. What's it called? Hero field guide. Sorry. So that you have an idea of actually how to put it together, so that will help you, obviously, be able to help your guys and girls be able to put theirs together. Your artwork, so Martin's be proud that we did. Yeah.
We still can.
Documentation, that's it. All right, so, memory verse,
All right, here
the
we go.
field guide that you just started working on, those will be things each day. You're obviously gonna add the next page to that. By the way, for the squad time, you will have, you can send an aide to get in the volunteer room. There will be all the equipment that you need for them to do this one. So like what I was saying before about bringing your own equipment from home, that was only for the activity. For the field guide, we will have stuff for you guys here in the volunteer room, which is,
Looking it up right now.
okay.
It's on the second floor, like as you head down the hallway.
It's a much smaller room than it used to
205.
be.
205.
It's a much smaller room than it
volunteer
used to be.
205, got it.
The work crew will sort of take over that room and they will
Sure.
put your stuff in little piles.
Okay, very good. All right, could you open that other document?
It's ready to go.
Okay, let's go around then with squads. I was mentioning to you about where you want to meet for squad time. And when people were saying things before, now we're actually going to commit them.
Quiet room, if that's a thing. Wherever they, like, right some sanctuary.
The cry room.
The cry room.
Quiet room.
Okay.
Wait, what squad are you?
D.
Okay,
I like the 7.
you got it.
Go ahead.
I had 11.
Frog room.
Check.
What is that?
Yeah, so what are you? What squad?
What squad room?
Yeah, like the high sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like our little.
I'm the second oldest, I don't know what number, I'm one of those, wait, I don't know.
It's squad high.
I don't.
Thank you, you got it.
Yep.
I don't know what room number it is, but it's on the third floor, the room next to the elevator, it's like 301 or something like that.
Yes, 301.
Okay.
What are you?
The treasure
G.
room.
Okay.
Treasure.
Anton?
Can we have that room up by the blue room? You know about this?
The upper
The
room.
upper room.
What squad are you?
The upper room.
What, Jay?
J.
Or
Conference room for squad E.
Double checking on that.
Okay.
That might be a.
E? Yeah, you got it.
Drew?
Just the stairwell, like the middle part. The
Stairwell.
stairwell, but the middle part of it.
Like,
Middle stairwell.
between second and third floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you?
We are squad H.
Okay, Linnea?
Would we be like that other stripper room, the other like Sunday school room on the third floor?
Maybe.
The frog room.
No, the one on the
No.
other side, like where there's tables and chairs.
Like,
304,
302, 304.
Like the foosball? Like
305.
Whichever one, we're fine.
305 is being used, but 302 is not.
Yeah, like it's like a classroom or
Yeah,
like,
what are you?
squad A.
I don't think we have everybody.
No, I still have to go, I'm thinking.
I don't know this church.
That's okay. There's maps in the back and you can get to know it. Oh, so we have A. Do we have B?
No, that's Gabe's.
Oh, okay.
You want me to get him? He's right outside the door.
No,
No,
this
not
is
that
different Gabe. Hey, Sam, why don't you pick a room for Gabe? That should sort of be in you.
That closet's not being used,
The closet.
but you have to.
That's all right.
Seems like we always had one squad that met out on the front step.
Do we have C?
That's where Orpheus is now.
C is Anna. C was Anna's. Anna's room. Did she pick one? Anna ordered.
Oh, no, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is 302 open?
No, yeah.
Sam checking. No, squad A just took it.
That is a bit rough.
Frog room is open.
No, it's not.
Squad,
Is the music room open? 107?
The room next to it.
Dragon.
You can take the others.
Wait.
Is 107 open? The choir room?
No, but across the hall, there's this tiny little room right here
Wait.
with couches.
Wait, can we do
Sure,
114?
I'll do that.
110.
Oh,
Yeah. What are you?
I'm the.
Wait, what's in 114? What's in 114?
Wait, what room number, what room
Yeah, it's
number
not
is
a
that?
room. 110,
Okay, cool.
Okay. Give me a minute.
okay. So we have A, B, C, D, E. Who's that?
What?
F?
F is Nick Osmond.
I'll give his age a pick.
He's not here either.
Neither one? Okay, then assign him somewhere.
I don't care, pick something.
Gift killer, you can have to go outside, building this, and then if that's not gonna
Like
get
under
into
the
the
station.
Wait.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
What's
Yeah.
Nick?
Oh wait, that's like way far away. Never
What are the letters, Nick?
Nick is F.
Okay, let's,
Moving on. Okay.
Friday.
All right, guys, if we'll go back to, believe it or not, that's early through squad time on Monday. So, we need to move quickly. Thankfully, after we walk through the first day, the other days are pretty much carbon copy other than some detail, and then some detail specific to water day. Okay, 11:10 to 11:50 each day, that would be after squad time. You will go to electives.
excuse me, I'm sorry, did you deal with the Bible questions that were not, they're not like in here, they're supposed to be in the pocket? Do you guys have this in your pocket? It says senior camp squad discussion questions, like in the pocket where the hero book guy was?
No.
Okay, real quick, you're gonna get a sheet like this on the, I guess, I'll probably send it via email so you have it ahead of time for the first day. But these are your discussion questions that you're gonna ask during squad time, so we'll get those to you.
So that's true, that's also part of squad time. Again, now you understand why you won't have any downtime with squad time. All right, during elective time, there's actually a sheet in your binder towards the back, I believe. Yeah, it looks kind of like this.
Yeah.
Okay, that actually is listed alphabetically, all the campers' names alphabetically, and what elective they're doing. Question,
I'll
wait,
tell you guys that.
okay. All
I
right,
have
thank you.
it,
It's fine.
Yeah, if you're not leading an elective, guys, you're just like, I just put you somewhere and you just need to, help out, basically.
Yeah, so just to repeat that, so we're clear, during elective time, everybody's helping out, but it's not necessarily with every person in the squad. Some people are leading an activity, but if you're not leading an activity, they're gonna be assigned to somewhere, so be aware of that. And you will get information about that as well. It is a good idea, by the way, to keep track of where your particular campers go during elective time, just so you have an idea of head count and that sort of thing. But that's listed out on this page that I was calling your attention to. And electives roll basically right into a time just before lunch. So from 11:10 to 11:50 is electives. At 11:50, counselors take their squads, or gather up their people, I should say, while the aides get the lunches, and then meet on the lawn outside of the blue room. Okay, so that's going to be sort of the lead up to lunch. While there, those of you in the past probably are familiar with, usually sometimes if we're a little early or we have a few minutes before lunch is actually going to start, sometimes we do like a silly contest of some sort. So if anybody, feels led to be silly, you have an idea for a contest during that short period of time, I'm open to ideas and suggestions. So if anybody thinks of something they want to do during that little downtime prior to lunch, let me know. All right.
Me and Drew are gonna do.
I did not say that.
Do it.
We can do round one.
I was
What
joking.
about like?
Yeah, I like that. That's true, you could just entertain the campers, you don't necessarily have to involve them. Yeah,
What if like you do like something where like someone's blindfolded and they have to like put makeup on like the other person? Oh my god.
that would be interesting.
Yeah, no.
It's not a bad idea. All right, just think of those things. Honestly, in years past, it's been fairly spontaneous, like, yeah, tug of war, paper airplane flying contests.
Nothing has been spontaneous. Kristen planned everything out.
I like spontaneous.
Just saying, oh, there goes our video. Okay.
That's right.
Ah.
That's right. All right. Obviously, 12 to 12:30 is going to be lunch. Camp store will also be open during that time. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yep.
up on the stage.
Up on the stage. And you guys will be sitting with your
During the
campers on
lunch hour.
blankets/tablecloths that will be out there. Key thing, make sure your campers actually eat. I know it sounds really kind of obvious, but and for most of us, that's not an issue. You know, but like sometimes they just kind of get distracted and never actually get to their food, and then in the afternoon they get, oh, I'm hungry. It's like, did you eat your lunch? No. It's like, okay, well, eat your lunch. So just kind of encourage that obvious thing, but it is necessary. All right, 12:30 to 1 o'clock is your second squad time. During that time on Monday, that's your opportunity to come up with a squad name. Other than Ben Porter already came up with his, he's going to put it onto his. It's more of a dictatorship than a democracy. All right, that's right. Squad tattoo. That would be a good idea. All right. Squad sign, squad shout. Also thinking about things that for Tuesday is sort of squad unity. So just anything sort of along those lines. Don't have to do all of those things, but you want them to have something that's kind of your rallying thing, or tattoo, whatever. No. Also, if people were almost getting the Bible memory verse in the morning, but you want to give them a second shot, or they're like, oh, can I do it again? This is an opportunity to do that as well. Maybe not so much on the first day, because you kind of have these other things you want to do in that second squad time. But it is an opportunity for you to give them another chance at the token. So, first day is dismissal, or bowling rather. Dismissal will take place at about 1 o'clock. Make sure you get on the assigned bus. It's not so much a big deal on the first day, but we're going to see there are other days where you need to get on the right bus or bad things happen. So make sure you do that. Notice that your squad's already assigned to specific buses. I'll be out there, Mrs. Blair will be out there to kind of direct you. Some other people will be out there to make sure that people get on. Very, very important, as you know. And many of you, when I asked you what the responsibilities you felt were most important for counselors and aides, a lot of you said had to do with taking care of your kids and making sure that they're safe and all that sort of thing, which is absolutely true, especially when you get to these times of the day. So head count is so critical. Every time you move from one point to another, you should be making sure, that's even true actually when you move in the building, honestly, but very critical when we're doing things with bus transportation and going to different places. Nobody wants their kids to get lost. That's kind of a bad thing. Okay. All right, so bowling is over at Pines Plaza, as we've done in years past. My understanding is that when you get there, basically you want your kids to get shoes, a ball, and then find their name on the screen. Like they already have them up on the screen, so you'll know what lane your kids are supposed to be on and so forth.
Excuse me, and they try to keep the squads together as much as they can, and they usually start with the youngest down on the left and the oldest to the right. That's how they've done it forever, so
Right.
you can anticipate that again.
They're very well aware of us being there, so they have kind of a good routine down for us.
Are we bowling with them or no?
Maybe, we'll see if there's room. Like some years there just isn't room, so we'll see. If they have your names up there, great. And the snack bar will be closed if any of your kids ask. They're not selling stuff, but they usually have water for us.
All right. And after that, of course, we travel back here and read Last Off, which is essentially closing. We'll be in the sanctuary once. So once we get back, it's important that they get off the bus and you take them straight back to the sanctuary. And we'll get to actually another very critical thing. speaking of safety issues right now, which has to do with both dismissal and other things regarding kids coming in the morning as well as leaving in the afternoon. If you would turn in your binder to the bright orange, hunter safety orange piece of paper. All right, very, very important. You know, I can't stress this enough. You guys have taken on a great responsibility, and I know you guys will do well with this. But this probably is the most critical thing that we need to make sure we follow. These are procedures that have been kind of tweaked over the years, and it works as long as you follow it, frankly, to the letter. You want to really follow this very, very carefully. Drop off in the morning. We'll go over that first. That's not quite as important for you as it is for the parents. But this sheet is the same sheet, if I'm understanding correctly. This is the same sheet that parents have. So you guys are
They're gonna get a slightly different one?
But essentially, they understand the rules
Yep.
as well as we understand the rules as well. Okay. So, as I've already mentioned, I'm not going to go over the drop-off as much as the pickup procedure. You guys need to be here at 8:25. You need to make sure that we'll make sure the meeting's over at 8:40, so you guys can be up there to meet your campers in the sanctuary first thing in the morning. That's really all you guys need to be concerned with that. There are ladies that are at the front entrance that'll take care of them coming to the building at the appropriate time and not too early and all that kind of stuff. But the back side of that page, the pickup, is very important. For the pickup, we can skip the first one because that has to do with junior camp. Second bullet point there, it says senior head counselors and aides, please keep track of your campers as you leave the buses and enter the squad pews in the sanctuary. Do not, this is really important, do not let any parents take their kids early as you re-enter the church. So we come back from bowling on Monday, okay, sometimes parents will kind of see their kid coming off the bus and they're like, oh, Susie, come here, let's just go. It's like, you can't do that. And I know that's going to be really awkward because you're telling a parent no. I don't know, maybe it's empowering for some of you. That's finally a commandment, though, by the way, so just remember that. But they can't. Okay, and if somebody really, you know, is giving you a hard time about that, please just refer them to myself or Mrs. Laird or any of the other adults. But that's just a procedure we have for safety purposes. It's just a very real thing that we have to deal with, and they should understand and appreciate that, quite honestly. Plus, we don't want them to miss the end, because we go over some important details about the next day of camp. So it has lots of reasons why that needs to happen. When you sit in the squad pew for the closing session, make sure the head counselor is on the end of the pew closest to the aisle, or side aisles rather. Okay, and aide needs to be at the other end of the pew by the middle. So you kind of want your kids sandwiched in between you as best as you can. No one is permitted to use the middle aisle for pickup. That's either one straight down the middle, I'm assuming. Okay. And the aide should make sure that no campers leave from that side. If a parent does come around to that side of the pew, just ask them to see the head counselor on the other side and remind them, as I just said, that's for the safety of all campers. Now, this is important. Head counselors, when adults come up to you with a colored card that has your camper's name on it, you should take the colored card and then dismiss the camper to them. It may not necessarily be the camper's parents because of carpooling reasons. So it might be a grandparent, neighbor, whoever. If the camper does seem distressed about leaving with the adult, keep the camper with you and bring it to the attention of a director. Okay, so, and sometimes that can be an honest thing. Like there's a change in plans at home and somebody who's not supposed to be picking them up ends up picking up. And sometimes, especially little guys, they get kind of freaked out when schedules get changed and stuff. So in those cases, you know, you just need to handle that by directing them to one of us. You should not dismiss a camper to an adult if their color card is a significantly different color from the others that day. All right, so there's a different color for each day, is my understanding, and so you'll kind of recognize what the color is for that day. But you can understand why you want to make sure that it is the correct color card. And all counselors and aides should stay in the squad pew until all of their campers have left, with two exceptions. If it's 3:45 and your campers are still, you still have campers that still have not been picked up, you need to just alert one of the adults adults, Mrs. Laird or I, is fine about that, and we'll stay. And if only one camper is remaining, the aides may leave while the head counselor waits with the camper. So hopefully after the first day might be a little bit different for them, but hopefully usually by the second and third day they kind of have the routine down. But it is important that you stay with your campers essentially until they're all gone, unless it's past that 3:45 time. If you're not sure what to do at that point, just come see Mrs. Laird or myself, and we'll tell you what you can do from there. That make sense? All right. But as I said, that's really important, and I know you guys will be fine with it. All right. The other days, not necessarily, I'm not going through all this stuff again, and I know you're happy about that. But do understand that it's essentially the same procedure. Notice, by the way, the theme, once again, is at the top of each day. The theme of day 2 is squad unity. The morning pretty much goes the same as we've been talking about, starting with the counselor and aide meeting at 8:25. Goes all the way through lunch. During lunch that day, okay, on Tuesday, one thing it says there, reminding you that during lunch on Tuesday, begin discussing what you want to do for the camp competition that's on Friday. Start getting their little wheels turned in their heads about what you might want to do for your camp competition time on Friday. So if you start thinking about it Tuesday, that gives you time, obviously, to prep. So that's incredibly awesome. No fireworks, no pyrotechnics. Right.
But if you want to use music, then
yeah,
Osmond
that's
is
true.
going to need to know. And he'll come and talk to us some morning that week.
Yep. That's true, I forgot about that. Yeah, some people want the, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Some of the better squads like to use music, just saying.
Music was the key. I'm sure that pushed you guys over the edge. I vaguely recall that. Yeah.
I remember the movie.
All right. After lunch, once again, camp store open during lunchtime. 12:45 to 1 o'clock. There's like a 15-minute window there. We're looking for some people to lead a large group game. Recommendation there was sharks and minnows, but it doesn't have to be that. If you have something else that involves a large amount of people, I have some ideas. The quiet game. That's a good one. 15 minutes of the quiet game. Yeah. I was like that. And they're like, my mom and dad play that all the time. I'm like, I bet they do. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, if you think of anything you want to do there, get those creative juices flowing in terms of large group games that you thought were fun in the past. Now, here you go. Here's a good example. Day 2, 1 o'clock for dismissal. You're both going to bouncy places, but you're going to different bouncy places depending on your squad. So please make sure that you understand that. Squads A, B, C, and D are going to jump zone, but squads E through J are going to bounce U. Hence, you do not want to get on the wrong bus. That would be disastrous for everybody. Hence, therefore. Once again, head count, all these security measures that we talked about before, you want to take those things seriously. By the way, since it's these jump zone things, by the way, if anybody gets hurt, you do want to, as a counselor, just kind of see if it's just one of those, I got a boo-boo, I need to cry it out a little bit, that's okay. But if you really think that it's something more, okay, see the adults who are with your group, whether that's me, Mrs. Arnold, or whoever other adults from the camp are with you, and we'll take them from there. So anyway, so those are the 2 different places. Once again, roughly about between probably 3:15-ish. We'll get back to church once again, get them back into the sanctuary, follow the procedures for dismissal on the orange sheet. Then we get to day 3, and once you have the routine down, then we get to Wednesday and totally mess with your mind, because it's, water day, if you've been here before, that's a whole other animal. The day pretty much does start the same. However, when we get to after lunch that day, your second squad time is a good opportunity to start practicing, if you haven't already, your squad performance that you're going to do for the competition on Friday. So that squad time, we have time for you to rehearse, perfect practice makes perfect, all that good stuff. So that would be your second squad time on Wednesday. Then after that, at approximately 12:45, kids are to change for water day. And then there is a specific water day schedule and stations, which we'll get to in just a second. But from 1 to 1:25, we're going to have the fire truck. Hopefully it doesn't get called out like it seems to have in some other years. Lower lots, okay? So that'll be going on. After that, there are then water day stations. There are 10 of them. And if you look in the back, I think it was right before the electives page,
Right after the orange sheet.
right after the orange sheet, okay, is where squads will start for the rotation. And you can see what the stations are. And you can also see kind of in the middle of the page kind of explains when you'll rotate will be basically a loud obnoxious noise coming from a megaphone, which might be my voice actually. So you'll have about 10 to 12 minutes at each station, and then you'll rotate for those. On the back of that is a lovely two-dimensional map showing you where all of these things will be. Okay, so you can kind of take a gander at that as you have a chance to do so. But those are the stations. That's where you'll start. The rotation, I believe, is counterclockwise.
Yeah.
Right, so that gives you an idea of how Wednesday works. Now, guys, this is important. The closing for Water Day will actually be outside because we don't want drippy little kids going to the sanctuary. That's kind of not a good plan. So closing that day will be outside of the church. And I do need you to look back on the orange page once again because there's a slightly different pickup procedure for the end of Water Day. All right, your squad's going to be seated on a blanket on that little kind of road that kind of connects the upper and lower parking lots beside the sanctuary, sort of. You'll see it'll be clearly marked. But basically, you're going to stay with your squad on a blanket on that in that area. Popsicles will be given out to help with antsy campers. I like that. They're either full of ants or they can't sit still. I'm not sure which. Probably both. Campers need to remain seated on the blanket during pickup. Okay. That's going to be a challenge. You guys are going to have to figure out ways to keep them, amused and contained for a period of time until their parents get, after Water Day. So, good luck with that. That'll be your challenge for the quiet game again. Works great in those situations. Or better yet, statue game. Statue game that's a good one. Statue game. Okay. Seriously though, head counselor should remain on the blanket with the campers when parents arrive. Guys, this is really important. Aides should go to the pickup table and listen for the names of their campers. When they hear a name, they should go back to the blanket, get the camper, and walk them down to the pickup table where the adult is waiting. No parents are allowed on the driveway ramp area. In other words, that's the area where you guys are going to be seated with your group. No parents are allowed to take their child from your blanket without going through the pickup table. So, in other words, they have to go to the pickup table